All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. My apologies for not doing a video yesterday. There wasn't a lot in the news cycle this go around, or meaning yesterday morning. Since I did a weekly recap and preview of the week, I figured that was probably the best way to kind of get you guys up to date. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. But it is on there. We set it up on Sunday. And then we also did a podcast on Spotify. So make sure to check that out. The podcast is just kind of a way for me to talk about the markets, kind of like I'm just talking to you one on one, having a cup of coffee. And you're just asking me, Carlos, what's happening in the markets today? What do you see? That's what the podcast is. So I kind of changed the direction there. Instead of looking at it as, oh, I need constant subjects to talk about. Granted, if there's something important, we'll talk about it. But for the most part, I'm going to treat it like just a cup of coffee with you guys. So I should just probably call it coffee time with Carlos. I don't know. I'm not a creative person like that. I'll figure out something. Well, anyways, good morning. Let's go ahead and get straight to the markets. I know you guys have questions and I'm ready to answer them. Let's go really quickly on the future side. Dow futures are down 19. S&P futures are up 50. The S&P is up about 0.13%. The Russell is up 1% this morning, nearly. 2051 10-year treasury yields 4.287. They are down this morning. Crude oil, congrats to the futures team. We went ahead and hit oil longs yesterday for about 100 ticks or 100 points. Well done to the team. To those that traded it, congratulations. Now you are officially commodities traders or commodity derivatives traders, if you really want to sound important to anyone you meet. So if anyone ever asks you in an Uber, oh, what do you do or what are you into? If you really don't want to delve in too much into the market, just say you're in derivatives. It works every time. Gasoline futures are up 1.13%. Gold is up as well. The dollar is down this morning, 0.07%, with the VIX down 0.95%. All right, let's just get to the questions. If you have any other questions, we also have Bitcoin. There's a great question from PT here asking about Bitcoin. But you could see it here, Forex rather flat other than the dollar yen. That's down about 45 pips. And Bitcoin, Ethereum are up. This is not new. We've been trading Mara, for example, really since last year. We've been really bullish Bitcoin for a while now. I mean, everyone knows this, but now we got to find a way to trade it. So Mara, a lot of my members are saying, Mara, why didn't we go for it? And the problem with Mara is that they report earnings, I believe, on Thursday. So those premiums are going to be juiced. But what we did is hit BITO. We hit BITO calls, the 30s. They got as high as 38%, gave everyone the option to close because Bitcoin is volatile, as we know. This is the Bitcoin ETF. We broke above now, above my alert. We're now at around 26.95, right around 27. I still like it to 30. If you guys are still holding BITO, it's for March 15th. The 30 calls had great volume. I gave the option to close. I'm still in it. So, but again, I like Bitcoin long. But again, it's all about giving everyone options. If you guys feel comfortable to take it early, you guys go right ahead. You take the money when you want. Let's go straight to Bitcoin on the future side. What is the next resistance? That's the question, right? That was the question here. What is the next resistance on Bitcoin? Here is the future side. So we broke above 56,510. That was your fib retracement level here, the 23.6 fib. And again, you can flip it however you want, but it all remains the same. 56,510. We're going to use that moving forward as our support until we get to 69,355. In terms of what is the next closest resistance, again, I like to say the round number theory. We know how that works. Works with Apple all the time. It's always 175, 180 calls. It's always in increments of 5. It's just the way of the world, kind of like how NVIDIA is hovering around 800. So with that being said, 60,000 is the next target. Bitcoin already hit my target for the year, guys. At the end of the day, boy, was I not bullish enough. 60,000 is the next target. After that, we have 64,805. Again, that was the previous candle, the highest part of this daily candle from November 15th in 2022. And then your all-time high is 69,355. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't get there this year. The question is, how high can we go? Is 100,000 in the cards? Well, for now, all we can do is trade what we see, and you have many options to do so. But BITO is right now my favorite one because they're cheap. So everyone has a chance to trade it. And the option side, Mara, again, with earnings, we're just trying to be a little more careful. That's all. But we started great this week with Robinhood and BITO. Let's see questions. Only question is to give us some levels to make money. Good morning. There you go, Ryan. That's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. What are the top stocks of 2024? I did a video on it, the family restaurant. I love that username. Make sure to take a look at our library. It is on there. I'll go ahead and attach a link in the comment section this morning, family restaurant, and you'll have access to the top 10 stocks of 2024. Considering a long call of 2025, 20 or more, or 15 strike for Hood, you see more upside. Yes. Robinhood, we did trade it. I even send it to Masterclass as well as a ladder, and I haven't done laddering in a while, meaning just when we were up 20%, I added another position on top of it. So again, I had 20 contracts on these. Believe it was we had the 14s, 15 calls, excuse me. We had the 15 calls. They're in the money. The next target I have is 17. We've been talking about Robinhood for a minute. We have the March 15s. And again, I gave everyone the option to close if they wanted to, no problem. But I still see this as a breakout. We're now at 16. The next key level is 1649. That's your wick high. In terms of buying that much time till January 2025, just take a look at the volume always, because you always want to buy something that you can sell later. I like March 15. That is the OPEX date for March. That's where we have the 15s. Again, it's in the money right now, about $1 deep. So, keep an eye on the options volume out there. I don't hate the 17 level, as we know. In terms of after that, 20 to 23 is definitely a possibility. We got more to go, but finally, Robinhood is breaking out, and we're excited to see that as call holders. Let's see. Morning, Carlos. How much is coin affected by Bitcoin alone? Coin, I was 1 week too early with Masterclass, and that's my bad because I had the 200 calls last week after earnings. And of course, we pulled back. Now it hits 200. And it's kind of been that way lately. That's why I'm like really pounding the table to make sure we have time to buy time. The good news is that Bitcoin is about to, or not breaking out. 206.91 is the level. We'll place an alert at 206.92. We'll take away this 199 because I don't need it. There you go. This is on the weekly chart. You're above major moving averages. You break above 206.92. Now you're just digging to see what is out there in terms of volume or what people are trading. If you're talking about a wild swing, a swing that we can possibly take a look, I'm probably going to tell Investment Club to take a look at Coinbase if they want to add here. 282 would be the next target, above 210. That would be a nice little gain there, about 35% or so. And then we can probably ride this bad boy to 350 if Bitcoin goes to all-time highs. Guys, there's a lot of caveats there. But Coinbase is going to go higher. They had a great earnings call. Great earnings call. So now we're starting to move. We'll probably swing that thing. So above 207, 210, if you just want to be careful. I like 282 to 300 as your next target. And then you can take profit there, or you can close that initial position, let the profits ride to around 368 or so. So Coinbase, keep an eye. That's a great swing opportunity if you kind of want some Bitcoin proxy exposure. If not, we could just trade it, make life easy. Again, BITO, Mara, you name it. Again, we've been trading Mara really since January of last year. And Mara now is breaking out. So now you're talking about $40 levels. And we'll see if we can go ahead and trade that, buy some time as always. But I want to wait for that earnings report to come out first. Let those premiums reset. And for now, we can just hit BITOs till the cows come home. Let's see. Tesla price target from here. Yeah, I have the 205 calls from last week. They were down 65%, mind you, but we stuck with the analysis. We're at 204.55 now. And again, guys, all we're looking for is this gap fill, 206.73. Once we do with those 205s, we'll take our profits, we'll leave a runner and see if we can gun for that 220 level if we kind of get some momentum above 212. So this will not be the last time we hit Tesla. Just keep that in mind. If you're talking about next important level to target, maybe your dip buy opportunity, is right above 225. 225 gets us above the 100-day moving average on the daily. We're still way below the 200. That kind of worries me. As of right now, all we're doing is just trading it. And if you're looking for a place to actually take a position in it, at least I would say to be more prudent, wait for the second gap fill, which is right around 220. As of right now, I still think it's tradable, but owning it in terms of a swing, not as of yet. Not as yet, but I'm keeping an eye on it very closely. You're welcome, the family restaurant. Do you see NVIDIA potential downside with the inside bar yesterday? Now, this I did talk about on the video for the week, and we talked about that this possible reversal candle on the daily. We did pull back a little bit, but we did get as high as 806. Again, really any kind of discussion in terms of shorting or possibly taking a short position or puts, you got to get below 750. And if you do, then you do have a gap fill around 720 and a very important trend line right around 700. So, it's kind of hard to bet against this momentum against NVIDIA. NVIDIA is an absolute rocket. So you kind of have to be very, very careful because you're really trading a reversal. So wait for 750, 746 before you make any kind of short position moves. If not, looks like we're just going to consolidate for a minute after it just soared so crazy. And that's completely natural, completely normal. 800-ish seems to be that kind of magnet. If we can use that in the future, if we go higher as support, who knows, maybe 3 years from now, people are going to say, man, that 800 level, we waited and it soared anyways. The 800 level is very, very similar to that 500 level that we kind of hover around for a little bit. That's what NVIDIA has been doing, is that it'll soar, consolidate. See, you get that bump, you consolidate, push, consolidate, and then 500 was that hard resistance. And we chopped around, guys, for a good while in 2023. It was really until January where we got that push higher and we broke 505. So let's kind of treat not just 800, possibly 700, but more likely 800 if we're using the same analog as that resistance. We may consolidate there for a little bit. So again, just kind of keep that in mind, temper expectations. I don't think we get to 1,000 or 900 in a month. Now, if we do, that's completely fine. I just don't think that's, highly likely. I just think as of right now, it's going to be the very similar song and dance where you get a little bit of chop here and there, and you could try to trade it inside out, fine. But for the most part, I would prefer to see 800 break and sustain above it and use that as support. And then we go from there. The Dow and BTC have no correlation. They do not have any PTR. The Dow is a index of the 30 bluest chip companies, and sometimes they're not the bluest chip companies. That's why Walgreens was removed for Amazon. So, I mean, it's very old-fashioned. The way I see it, the Dow is kind of like your local news. Yeah, you can listen and watch it for news, but not everyone watches it. It's very old school, like reading the newspaper. Very, very old school. So the Dow, that was created early 1900s, and that was a way just to kind of get a barometer of the market. It is a weighted index of 30 companies, 30 of the biggest companies, and there's a good mixture of different industries. As you know, with the S&P, it's a weighted cap index. Back in the 80s, oil companies ran that show. Then the 90s and 2000s, you had banks and tech. Now it's basically all tech. So again, if you're kind of quoting the Dow to people, it doesn't give us the full barometer. It may give some a little bit of a picture, but more of a deep dive would probably be, in my opinion, equal weight S&P, RSP. I'll show you that chart here in a second. Equal weight RSP is breaking out. So, this is all the S&P 500 stocks equally weighted, all 500. And you can see just nice breakout. Top 10 stock of 2024 as well, RSP. Let's see, retest of all-time highs on Qs and SPY today. Definitely a possibility. I mean, stop me if you heard this year, new all-time highs for Qs and SPY. I mean, basically all we're doing here is staying in within this channel. And it's just going to be a little bit of a grind. We do have a gap to fill at 425.97. That does concern me. We can get reversals at any time. We can get pullbacks and still be bullish, obviously, but this is a concern here right around 426. In terms of next resistance, 448 to 450. If that breaks out, well, congratulations, man. That's great. That would be great. January and February, not very often are both of them green in terms of the S&P. And when we are green on both of those months, we have some really, really great news when that happens. I'll read you the info here. Let me get that detail here. I think we posted as well. The S&P 500 is close to being up in both January and February. Guys, it's not exactly common that happens. The rest of the year, we are higher 26 out of 28 times, And 1 year later, we're up 27 out of the next 28 times. 27 out of 28. So, and the average return after that is about 9.3% in the next 12 months, with a median of 12% the next 12 months after that. So, something to think about. Let's take a look at SPY. Very similar to that same channel. I just didn't draw it. So we'll go and draw it together. I did it on ES, but I didn't do it on. See if I can get a good. There we go. And then we can draw this trend line here and see if this connects to this point. There we go. So there you go. Beautiful inside channel, upward trend. Got another gap to fill. Thanks, NVIDIA. That's a concern, but you're going to start noticing that SPY, it's kind of moving the way NVIDIA does now, since it's such a big part of it. Now it is. Apple, Microsoft being the biggest. But here's your channel here. You still have this gap fill right at the 20-day. Very, very convenient. If we were to pull back below 500, 503, that's your next target. That's what we're looking for. CCL, sorry for not answering, Daniel. Let's take a look at it. CCL this morning, we are starting to get a move. I think Norwegian reported this morning, and they had a good reaction. So we're on a 4-hour chart, 1568. Let's see if we did break out at all, because I see a nice little channel, downward channel here. See if I can get this going to the right. Okay, so we have one trend line here, reversed on it back in late January. If we can get above 16 right here, that'd be a wedge breakout, downward wedge breakout, and we'll see if we can get above the 1635 level. So let's put an alert there. If that does happen on CCL, we're going to see some upward momentum, because the last time we had a downward trend, we had a nice spike. And we have a double top possibly at 1955. So once that breaks at 1955, now we're getting interesting right around 2391 and beyond. Let's just hope everyone still considers cruising as a nice vacation. Carnival Cruise Lines. Not my favorite cruise line, but good to see the stock move higher. All right, guys, we'll go and leave it there. Have a great rest of your morning. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the next morning note. If you are interested, make sure to join our live market blog. It is on the ticker below. Make sure to go to our website, www.gar.capital, choose free plan, and you're right there in the mix of everything. Have a great rest of your morning. We will see you on Discord. Cheers.